Hi, it's Ruby. Thanks for clicking on my video. Today I have my sister Renee here yet again, and we are going to be talking about our 13-night transatlantic cruise. This is a series, so this is the second video in our series. Renee, thanks for coming on the channel.
Of course.
Today's topic is going to be 5 to 6 questions that we got after our cruise from mostly family, but I had coworkers too.
I had a lot of coworkers ask me.
Right. Also questions that the people we traveled with got. So this is the top 6 questions.
Question number 1. Did you get sick at sea? I did not get sick at sea because I just didn't get sick at sea.
Do you ever get sick at sea though?
No.
Okay, so you've never been on a cruise where you got sick?
Yeah.
I did not get sick at sea either. And this question was asked, I don't know if you got that question too, but I got asked that by my cousin who went on a 10-day cruise with me and my family to go
Hawaii.
Yeah, to go to Hawaii. And we crossed the Pacific Ocean during that cruise, and it was really choppy water. But when we told him, hey, do you want to come on this cruise with us? He was not interested just because of the long days at sea. And we were also told the Atlantic Ocean was going to be a little bit more, I don't know, treacherous than the Pacific Ocean, but I felt like it was so smooth the entire time. I didn't get sick at all. And one of the people that traveled with us, our friend, she gets sick at sea, and so she had some type of, it was like a wristband.
Yeah.
Anti-nausea wristband, and there was another girl that we saw on the elevator one day that had the same thing, and both of them confirmed that they hadn't gotten sick at all during the cruise. No, didn't get sick at sea. The second most popular question we were asked is, did we get bored? Specifically being on the boat for such a long period of time, 13 days, and of that 7 days was at sea. I didn't get bored at all. I loved it. The sea days for me were great. My sister has a different opinion slightly, but for me it was great because I am a mom, I work, I have a full-time job, so I feel like from 4:30 in the morning all the way up until 10 o'clock at night, I'm going. A vacation is really something that I look forward to, but cruises specifically I like because of the sea days, and this was amazing. I slept, there was movies in the room. Disney has on-demand TV, at least the Magic did, and it was great. I didn't get bored at all. Did you?
I think the third, just knowing like how many days you're gonna be at sea, I kind of got like anxious about it. I was like, oh, that's a really long time. So the third day, I was like, oh, okay, I still got 4 more days to go. So I think that was the only time I was a little bit freaked out. I wouldn't say I got bored. I just wish there was a little bit more like adult activities to do, because in like my spare time, like if I didn't want to be at the hot tub or the pool, I would go back to the room and I'd watch all the Marvel movies.
Yes.
That was such an amazing thing to have.
And order room service?
Yeah, room service every night, evening,
lunch, breakfast. Any chance we were in the room, we were in different rooms too. We were right next to each other, by the way. She was with my parents, and then I had me and the kids and my husband in a room. Speaking of my husband, he also said that he got a little bit bored. Well, no, he didn't get bored. He said he was entertained the entire time, but he did kind of feel like there wasn't enough adult activities.
At night.
At night, yes. And that leads us to our third question. The third question that we got asked a lot is, this seems to have been a smaller boat, and what was that like? Following up with what I just said about my husband saying there wasn't enough activities, I think the reason for that was because it's a smaller boat, so there's not as much space to do all the things you might do on a massive cruise ship. And we are going to be going on the Fantasy next year in the fall, and that will be the first time we're going on a really big Disney boat, but we've been on huge boats. Carnival, we've been on a huge boat for Carnival, I can't remember the name. The Royal Caribbean boats are always pretty big, and
I actually didn't notice the boat was really small and did something.
Yeah.
But also they had like the track that was covered, and that was it was just really nice that maybe because it was a smaller boat, I felt like, oh, it was running so far.
Oh my gosh, I know. So there's an outdoor track, and you can run, and it will, I think if you run 2.5 or yeah, 2.5 loops. It's equivalent to a mile. So every time we did a loop, we felt super cool. Like,
Yeah, our
we were
dad.
in great shape. We went for a run and we saw our dad just sitting out on the deck, and we were like, oh, he's out here, and he's just like sitting on like not a lawn chair, but those folding chairs, watching the sun, I guess, and he's just like smiling at us, and every time we went by, he'd give us a thumbs up, like, great job. So that was nice. He's like our cheerleader. One other thing I want to point out with the smaller boat was this was a 13-night transatlantic cruise. We went to multiple cities in Portugal and Spain, and I did notice that when we were docked, especially for Cartagena in Spain, all the boats were really small. The cruise ships were about the same size as the Disney cruise ship, and so I kind of think that, yeah, maybe some people would miss out on certain things because it wasn't a huge, massive boat, but I thought it was great because I felt like we got to go to places that normally big, huge cruise ships couldn't dock at because it was a smaller boat. So I really liked that, actually. And it didn't bother me either about the sizing.
Oh, next question. Was there too many kids?
Wait, stop for a second, your eyelash.
Oh no.
Go ahead.
Next question. Was there too many kids? For me, I was really scared that this cruise was going to be really like kiddish, but I literally never saw the kids. That was cool, but also like, I don't know, I missed my nephew. Because all he wanted to do was go to the Oceaneers Club. But yeah, I like never saw the kids. They had like a little passageway so they could get from 2 lab rooms without anyone seeing them. Yeah, like, and if any of the kids were like acting up, I don't know, I just never
Didn't
saw.
It wasn't a big deal. So back before I had children, I cruised without kids, and I've seen kids in those type of environments, multiple different boats, and then also in this environment. And there was a couple that I watched on YouTube, and they kind of were talking about, not that they saw a lot of kids, but kids during the performance and entertainment sequence in the evenings. I started to get anxiety, like, oh my gosh, like, is that what people are gonna think about my kids? But, you know, honestly, you always have some form of children on every boat, unless it's an adult-only boat. And again, I never felt like there was a million kids either. At the very end, they had a performance with Mickey Mouse, the Oceaneers Club kids did. And I think the Vibe kids were invited because I did see some older children there. Well, I guess they're still children. Older kids there, and they did like a whole performance. And when I saw them all on stage, I was like, oh wow, that's actually quite a bit of kids. But at no period did I ever see them in huge amounts. And entertainment and during the dinner experience, I never felt like there's so many kids and they're all acting wild or anything like that, which was kind of the impression I got from watching somebody else's YouTube video. So I also thought that, like, oh, maybe there'll be more, but did not get the feeling like there was more kids on a Disney cruise.
Yeah, and even if there were times there was like a lot of kids, they were really stimulated, so you didn't notice at all.
Yeah,
like they were engaged with something else instead of like crying or anything like that.
True, like the shows. And when they had events like Pirates Night, for example, they had an area that was blocked off for kids. Even one of the Frozen themed nights, they literally had their own, like, if you're not a child, you cannot enter this space. And so it was special for them, but it was also nice because they got to be in the very front of the stage and see their favorite characters and be excited, and we as adults got to be kind of on the outside but still be excited and have a great time. The next question that we got was, how did we rank a Disney cruise compared to the other cruise lines we've been on? Renee has been on Carnival and Royal Caribbean, Disney, and I don't think you've been on like Princess
Or Norwegian.
Yeah, Norwegian I went on my honeymoon, so you were definitely not there. And then Princess was back in the day. I think either way, what I think are the top cruise lines I've been on are Disney, Celebrity, Royal Caribbean anyways. Let's just say between Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and Disney, what would you rank number 3, so the bottom, number 2, and number 1? And then one big reason why you ranked Disney either top or below.
I would put Carnival as my 3rd, and then Royal Caribbean kind of ties with Disney. Just because the Royal Caribbean, we went on it with our like family friends, our really close family friends, and it was just like me and her, and was just a really fun time. The bottom of the boat like kind of seemed like a mini like Vegas, so there was a lot more like adult activities to do. I kind of missed that part. But then all the other aspects, the food and the shows and the service and all of just because we love Disney.
Yeah.
Just all of that's what made the Disney ship a lot better.
Right. I would rank Carnival as number 3, Royal Caribbean is number 2, but a close second to number 1. Truly, Royal Caribbean, I like their boats, like the way that they set their boats up. They're very big and spacious, but they also have, I forgot what you would call it, but it's like an outdoor shopping area, but inside the boat. And I loved that. That was really cool. It was like being in a big mall. My mom is a big shopper, so she loved that too. Other than that though, as far as food quality, service, presentation, I think it's miles away from Disney. And Kids Club too. I didn't have children. Oh, I did have a kid when we went to Royal Caribbean, but it never occurred to me to try to check him into anything. Disney for me is far up as number 1, really, when you take out just the type of boat that Royal Caribbean has. Disney's boat itself, while I thought it was cool because it was smaller so that we could go to more places, the boat itself didn't impress me, but the experience with the characters, the interactions with the characters, the food, the service, the room service, the additional amenities, which will be its own video one day in this series, the amenities you get with the Disney cruise, that's why it would be number 1 for me. The last question that we were asked was, would there be anything we would change on the Disney boat? What do you think?
I would say more adult activities. As my brother-in-law was saying how when, like, compared to other cruise ships, the pamphlet, like after dinner, there's all these activities for like adults, like only. And there was only a couple for Disney. They were really good activities, but they could have improved on that one.
More entertainment.
Yeah.
I think that goes with the space maybe too, but we'll find out when we go on the bigger boat. Maybe. Along those same lines, something that I would like to see different is the art show. Okay, so me and my husband are huge art collectors. We love seeing art be made, art on display, hearing the background. We were super excited when we booked our cruise because we go to downtown Disney a lot and we go to a store and there's all these artists that do Disney work. So we were super excited thinking that, oh my gosh, we're gonna get this exclusive Disney art experience or Disney art presentation. And then we got there and found out there was really no art event. It was really disheartening. I was kind of bummed out by that. And I don't know if I touched on this earlier, but it wasn't a huge deal for me, but my sister and my mom were sad that there was no casino.
Oh yeah, the casino. It's just like an extra thing to do when you're, have downtime.
Yeah. I think that the massiveness of the kids club is maybe what replaces the casino, or maybe like more of a philosophy. Disney doesn't do the whole gambling thing. I don't know. I liked the casino on past cruises. Like that was something that me and our family, we would go eat and then we would go to the casino and just like walk around or play. My mom would play like on the machines. We're not like big gamblers.
Yeah, I did the claw with the money.
So yeah, we missed that. Alright guys, well that's all we had for today. We hope you liked our video and we'll be back for the next videos in our series on our 13-night transatlantic cruise from Miami to Barcelona. Okay.
See ya.
Bye. See you real soon.